What is going on, you guys? It's your guy, Senpai Rai! And today I have a very special video. As you see, it is 11 days until the next banner. Well, presumably. But at the same time, it has only been 3 days, less than 36 hours since the Ryo banner has dropped, and I already have him up to 4 stars. And I have a ton of championship videos showing his different proficiencies in combat. And that makes me more than qualified with all the battle testing I have done to show off his not only abilities, special core effects, actives into basics which lead to potential infinite combos, different best battle card combinations, and Imprint Stones. But, well, I got another surprise for you guys. Let me just show you. Again, it has only been less than 3 days since this individual has dropped. So let's click on him right now for the surprise. As you see, he is a 4-star, level 40 right now. But what's this in the corner? What have we over here? Oh, just another 2 memories lounging around. No biggie. Wonder what happens when I push this button. 5-star Ryo coming up right now. The original king of the fighters who was in the Art of Fighting, which was a precursor to Fatal Furies franchise, which also branched off in a KoF series, but that's another story. Ryo is also Terry's 14-year-old elder and Robert's training buddy, and their dads were friends, by the way. Not only that, but Ryo has been in every franchise in KoF since '94. How amazing. Let's get this video started on this 5-star behemoth right now. Okay, everybody, for this introduction of Ryo Sakazaki, just know this much. He is a very fast attack type blue unit where if he catches you, especially when leading with a skill 3, it can be pretty much over. Especially if afterwards you recover and finessefully dodge your opponent's moves and actives and close the distance with, again, his skill 3. This is the main attack that you want to hide behind. Not only that, he has an interesting gimmick. Whenever he's attacked after stunned, he will reflect freeze for 2 seconds. Check this out. I willingly let that move hit me. Rugo caught a freeze, and then I close the distance with a skill 2 and the rest of his actives. Now, very interesting. He only has a 60% duration down on his freeze moves, but as you see, if you ever catch the opponent without super armor or hyper armor, lead with a skill 3 and you will easily be able to close the distance and do tons of damage. Now, also Ryo is very interesting. One of his other cores increases damage by 90% for 5 seconds upon landing a skill on a target with 50% HP or more, which is phenomenal. That's a ton of damage. That's unheard of. And that's when he gives his skill 1 a 50% chance to reset the cooldown whenever he uses skill 2 or his skill 3. Now, let's dive in deeper to all of his moves. Ryo's skill 1 is very good. It is a projectile first, followed by him closing the distance, running about a sweep stage with a judo chop. Here we go. Watch this. I have an opening, I throw the projectile, close the distance, and continue with the combo if I had my actives ready. With Ryo's new Resolve core, he also gets a 50% chance to reset this move, his skill 1, which ends in the judo chop, whenever he uses his skill 2 or his skill 3, which are strike skills, with a 50% chance. And watch this, skill 1 from a distance and close it with the judo chop. What Ryo's skill 1 actually does is decrease damage received by 70% for 3 seconds, which is enormous for his survivability. It also deals chill damage every 1 second for 6 seconds and decreases attack speed and movement speed by 10%. And check this out. You saw where I caught the reset on his skill 1 with his core just then? Now, Ryo's skill 2. It looks like Dan's Gale kick from Street Fighter. It's a very fast moving kick. Watch. Right here. But never start the stage off with that. I was just being ridiculous. And it increases attack by 29% for 7 seconds and disables target's roll. Very good intermediate skill between his skill 1 and his skill 3. Ryo's skill 2 is also an excellent way to close the distance and open up your combos on retreating enemies, as you see here. And now for Ryo's third and best skill, his skill 3, which offers super armor and 70% chance to guard break. Right here, where you can easily lead into the rest of your combos. Again, since Ryo's skill 3 is a super armor protected, fast, forward moving 70% chance to guard break move, it is an excellent choice to quickly start out the battle, catching your opponent off guard, potentially ending the fight in crackerjack timing. But also, it is an excellent way to close the distance. Now, if an enemy is potentially using a super armor move to protect themselves, wait it out, look for an opening, and close the distance to end the fight. Now, it is also something called a hold skill. Whenever Ryo combos a bunch of times with his punches, with his jabs, if the enemy has super or hyper armor, it will hold them in place, extremely delaying their ability to make their moves. And if they're in the middle of a skill set, then it will just slow them down. Now, whenever you use his 3 PG tier card, you want them to not be against the wall because you want them to freely float back with the fireball projectile super, gaining as much DPS as possible. But again, his skill 3 is magic when it comes to linking the other skill sets in comboing. As a quick refresher, a hold skill is a fast, multi-hitting move that holds you in place, like Gonet's skill 1, which usually opens up to other actives and or potential devastating super moves. As you see, this is painful to watch. Let me show you some other examples. Other hold skills besides Gonet's skill 1 are, of course, Gintoki's skill 2. Now, these are hold skills, not grab skills. As you see, he's being held in place where I can use other actives or potentially lead into super moves. Now, when used up against, well, characters with super hyper armor, it dramatically delays their effects, allowing you to either get away from an incoming attack or combo how you see fit. Very important, and Ryo's skill 3 is a hold skill. As powerful as Ryo's skill 3 is, it does have a potential downfall. Now, in some instances, whenever you use it, when you're too close to an opponent, you will push through as you see here, and it will absolutely throw you off. Now, let's speak on Ryo's cores. Whenever he's hit, when stunned, you see, he will freeze the opponent for 2 seconds, and most likely, even if they have a reflect stun like Lady Biggs, chances are they will hit multiple times after the fact. So as long as Ryo is stunned, he will reflect freeze, and as you see, you can use that as a defensive tactic in order to get away from opponents, as you see right here. Well, I should have got away, but I have that opportunity with his reflex stun, because especially against Omega Rugal, you've seen it a couple of times. Whenever he uses his skill 3, it hits multiple times. Geese is another one that has the ability to stun. Now, watch what I do. I'm going to start off with my 4 push and skill 3, and it messed him up for a few seconds. Now, this is amazing. This core is absolutely wonderful. Let me swim with him for a second and finish up the match. But also, just keep in mind that yes, it is not an absolute reflect freeze by definition, but it can be used defensively and offensively. Absolutely. You see? Now, I just completely messed up his combo, and I was able to roll out of it and finish up the match. Okay, we have already covered the core earlier on in the video, where Ryo's damage is increased by 90% for 5 seconds whenever he lands a skill on a target whenever his HP is 50% or more. But check this one out. Again, Lady Big just doing her thing. I was stunned. She hit me while I was stunned because, again, Lady Big is a combo queen, and she caught a reflect freeze. So it is absolutely a way to escape being comboed to death in a lot of situations. As long as you are stunned and you take damage, you will be able, or take an attack afterwards, you will be able to easily get out of it. And that makes other players that have the ability to stun, like now, I'm able to get out of it again, that makes other players that have the ability to stun think twice about their skill sets, and it limits them to a certain degree, because I have many videos playing even against Omega Rugal where I willingly got stunned with a skill 3 in order to just lead with my hold skill 3 and catch him to quickly end the fight. Now watch with BBV right here. She also has the ability to stun, and whenever she hit me, she caught a reflect freeze. So this ability is actually pretty good, even if it isn't traditional reflect freeze. Now, let's speak on Ryo's combo. Check this out, everybody. He's going to catch me with his skill 3. Going to basic almost all the way through, hit his skill 1, then his skill 2. He got his 50% reset on skill 1, and hit me with a super. Now, he's trying to end me with basics, but I had a few seconds of damage immunity because of my beautiful day set, but the dot damage was enough to do me in. That was beautiful. Now, everybody, what you don't want to do is, since you can cancel out of his skill 3, whenever you do connect with it, you do not want to wait till they're flat whenever you use skill 2. Watch this. Boom, because you will miss. Now, instead, watch this. He's going to be with a skill 3, combo almost all the way through before the uppercut, skill 1, then skill 2, and either basics or super. Now, he popped me up, and he's trying to finish with basics, and he succeeds. Well done, A-Reg, and that's how it's done, everybody. Now, we are going to combine everything that we have just recently learned about Ryo and see if it makes a little bit more sense while we play with this individual. Also, even if you don't have him, now you at least know how to counter him, so it's valuable information no matter how you slice this pie. Now, we're going to lead with a skill 3. The one that offers the 70% chance guard break while super armor protected. Now, especially against Iori, who has also a forward pushing skill 3 and tons of bleed damage based on his defense stat, you do not want to trade very hard. But also, as long as you have the beautiful day set to hide behind, that set was made for Ryo. Like, it absolutely will extend his life and possibly give you the victory that was intended. Now, as you see, I closed the distance with a skill 3, and you saw Iori caught a guard break and ended with a skill 2. Now, with Adelhides, what you typically want to do is just close the distance and continuously block. But what you don't want to do is ever lead with a skill 2, especially when an opponent has a forward moving skill that is protected by super or hyper armor like so. And as you see, I'm at 1%, caught a few seconds of damage immunity, caught him while he was retreating with a skill 3, and close the distance with a skill 1, and traditional 3 tier right now to win the fight. Now, guys, keep in mind that also on the subject of Ryo's battle cards, his 3-tier card increases crit rate by 3.6 and crit damage by 20% for 10 seconds. Now, as you see, his skill 3 is very, very fast and forward moving, easily able to close the distance. Really, the only way to get away from it at the beginning of battle is to roll through it. Forward roll through it. Now, let's jump into Imprint Stones for this God of War right now. Come on. There are definitely a few ways to dress Ryo in the realm of Imprint Stones. Through much testing, I found that for me personally, again, this should not be taken as gospel, but for me personally, with my aggressive playstyle and the way I live in championship like it's my second home, let's start off with the circle tier. Now, for the circle tier, 2 main imprint stones come to mind. First off, we have, of course, the red imprint stone, and as you guys see, at its starting ability, it gives plus 3% to attack, and at tier level 7, you get a nice decrease in burn, poison, and bleed damage by 9%. on a cumulative scale. But again, the Imprint Stone that we decided to go with for Ryo is the purple Imprint Plus, because as you guys see, at tier level 8, you will get a nice 3.8% boost to HP and attack, and also you will get a nice recovery of 5% of your health whenever you land a crit as an active skill when your HP is 70% or less. So this will dramatically help with Ryo's survivability and have him put out a little bit excess damage in the form of DPS while getting a potential heal in your kit. Now, let's move right along to the square Imprint Stone. After you awaken your character twice, you will be able to equip this tier, and for Ryo specifically, 2, again, specific Imprint Stones come to mind for the square tier. And these 2 are the yellow, which is a God mode Imprint Stone when it comes to PG gain, and as you see, at its max level, the only level 10 yellow stone that I have, which go well on every character because this is heavily due to PG, at level 10 you will get an increase to power charge rate by 8%, which is dramatic, you guys. Now, for the second ability, when completely maxed out for the square yellow plus Imprint Stone, you will gain power by 4% every 1 second for 10 seconds whenever you pop your wings out and use an awakening skill. Now, 4 times 10 is you will get, over the course of 10 seconds, 40% of your power. That's kind of absurd, I think. But again, the yellow square is an excellent choice for any character. But for Ryo personally, we went with the square blue plus Imprint Stone. And as you see at tier level 8, we get a nice 7.2% boost to raw attack stat. And starting at tier level 7, you awaken the second skill. And for the second skill at tier level 8, it decreases damage received by 12% for 5 seconds upon using an awakened skill. So after you pop your wings out, you will get a nice 12% damage mitigation, helping with Ryo's survivability, on top of giving him a nice boost to his attack stat. And you see it will go up by 4% as far as your damage negation per level for the, again, blue square plus Imprint Stone. Now, for the final Imprint Stone, the hexagon. After you get your character to tier level 30 and awaken him 3 times, you will be able to equip this slot. Now, again, there are 2 really good potential Imprint Stones for Ryo and the hexagon slot. The first one being the green hexagon, which, as you see at tier level 8, it will give you a nice 7.2% increase to his HP, and the second ability is where it will really help Ryo, and that's where at tier level 8 again you will increase damage to balance and defense types, assumingly the attack types have a lower defense and HP to begin with. So it will increase, again, the damage dealt to defense and balance types by 8%, and every time you level it up, it will increase the damage dealt by a solid 2%, which is a pretty damn good stone if you ask me. But again, we settled for the purple hexagon stone, and at tier level 7, the level you get whenever you unlock the second ability. Remember, the first one is unlocked at tier level 5, the second skill is unlocked at tier level 7. Now, for level 7, as soon as you unlock the second ability, you will have an increase to attack stat by 5.8%, which is actually pretty nice. And you will also get this second ability, which allows you to recover your HP by 0.9% every 1 second for 6 seconds whenever your character is either frozen or petrified with a short 10-second cooldown. Now, every time you level this up, it will increase by, as you see, 0.7% as far as your heal goes. Now, with these specific stones on Ryo, complementing his kit and abilities, we have him at level 45, as you see, and his CP is just over 60,000 with all the HP, attack, and defense capsules, with roughly just under 250,000 HP, about 48,000 plus on his attack, and a little bit over 11,000 defense. Still kind of low on defense, but hey, he is an attack type. And his leadership skill is, of course, top tier, where he increases blue element fighters' attack by 45% and their power charge rate by 20%. Now, these types of leaderships are invaluable, and especially RHD, just because you'll be able to fire off supers back to back to back to back to back. And of course, as you guys know, whenever you fire off a super, it freezes time, allowing your characters to do more DPS and recover their active skills. So Ryo is one of the best, if not the best, leader and strongest blue unit in my own personal humble opinion. Now, for the actual best types of card sets to put on Ryo Sakazaki, I'll put it to you like this. The Ryugo set is good, it is, but you almost need the Akane set if you want to unlock Ryo's maximum potential. Let me show you what I mean. Each set card increases his attack, as you see, by 7%. And also, as you see, I completed my 5th set not too long ago, and this is what the set bonus does. Check this out. It increases your attack by 12%, and there is a 30% chance to deal extra damage equal to 150% of attack upon landing an active skill. So this is excellent for any attack and or balance type fighter. But here's the real kicker down here that has people frustrated. So angry at people that rock this card set. That's when you become immune to damage for 2 seconds when your HP is 1% or less, with a long 45-second cooldown. Now that 2 seconds might not sound like a lot, but rewind this video and watch a few of my other championship videos, and you will literally see me soloing 2 or 3 other members of the team, their whole team, with about 1% health, thanks to this card set. And whenever you go into the next match, you can sustain the first hit of damage before this card procs. So this set is magic. Of course, my newest and most favorite set. Now, in order to go maximum CP, I also went with the, well, the serving is miserable card, because it absolutely is. Now, as you see, the crit rate boost will complement his core for crit rate damage, and there's a 50% chance to deal chill damage equal to 140% of Ryo's attack to target upon landing a critical hit. So this is extra DPS, and the special effect skill does not apply, just because this man right here is not a Halloween character, but this card set is extremely powerful. Now, this other card set, which is from the Christmas set, is also very nice. Now, bear in mind, since this is an exclusive, you cannot equip 2. You can only equip 1 of these per character. And what this does is it increases your attack by 4%, which is nice. Increases your crit rate by 4% as well. Also very nice, because 4% is huge for crit rate boost. It absolutely is. And check out this special effect after you evolve this card. It increases your crit damage by 15%. So this will exponentially improve the DPS of Ryo. But this is more of a PvE style. I'm going to try to max out my CP and do as much DPS as possible type of set. Let me show you some other options if you plan on taking Ryo into championship. So, let's keep moving. Whenever I take Ryo into championship, this is typically how I like to have him dressed. Now, of course, we spoke on the Beautiful Days set a moment ago, but also he has a 3-tier card. And earlier in the video, when I threw that fireball super that hit Omega Rugal from halfway across the stage, this is the 3-tier super that I used for that one. Now, I would highly suggest, if a character does have a 3-tier card, that you at least try a little bit to obtain it, because as I also stated earlier, after you hit somebody with Ryu's 3-tier card, this special one, this one right here, will increase your crit rate by 3.6% and your crit damage by 20%, which is amazing. Now, that being said, he also has a 6-star option right here, and when completely maxed out at level 30 and skill level 10, he will get an increase of 4% to his attack, 10% to his crit damage, and he will be able to disable the target's emergency dodge for 1.4 seconds whenever he lands an active skill. And since this is another exclusive card, you cannot equip 2 of these, unfortunately. But this will exponentially increase his ability as a player, further complementing his kit. Now, this other card obviously is a cooldown card from the Gintama set, which influences your crit rate by 1.7 and gives the traditional 1.9 seconds for your cooldown. So if you do not have this card, of course, other great option cards would absolutely be the Maxima card right here to help you with a cooldown, give him a little bit more survivability, or of course the K- and Kula card right here, the one that gives defense as opposed to HP or crit rate. As long as they have a 1.9 second cooldown, which is obviously relatively about 2 seconds, this card will benefit you greatly. Also, another really good card that will benefit Ryo as a nice suitable replacement is the Bow card right here. So let's slap that on him right now. And what this card does is it increases attack by 5% and increases shock and chill damage, mainly chill on the subject of Ryo. And remember that his skill 1 is the one that causes chill damage every 1 second for 6 seconds, while also decreasing the enemy's attack and movement speed by 10%. So this also is another nice card with supplementing Ryo's DPS and attack. Also, it will also increase his attack by a further 5% for 5 seconds when he attacks an enemy who is shocked, or again in Ryo's case, chilled. So the Bow option card is a wonderful substitute card for Ryo. Now, of course, you can go with the Ryugo set. You absolutely can. But at the same time, how should I put this nicely? As you guys know, Ryo already has guard break with a 70% chance on his skill 3. He does not need this card. Now, of course, Ryo is nice for the 10% chance of guard break, even though that's very low. And the 20% increase to his HP will supplement his ability to survive. And I mean, the decrease in target's attack by 20% for 10 seconds when attacked is also very nice. And as you see, it gives plus 7% attack increase per card. And I do have a 4th set that I'm trying to level up right now, and I got a few dupes, so I'm kind of heavy with my first card. But also, I want to just let you guys know that the Tekken set is also a nice option, but you will probably die with a Ryo set. Unless you're very skilled with maneuvering and dodging, you will probably die. That is absolutely why I am suggesting the Beautiful Day set if you want to get Ryo to his maximum potential with a card set. The Beautiful Day set is almost invaluable. Also, make sure that you level up the traditional tier level of the card, because as you see, I'm level 30, even though I am skill level 1, because this all influences his CP. Watch what I mean. I'm going to equip this extra card, and it's, again, traditional level 30, skill level 1, and the skill level doesn't matter for the secondary card slot right here. And watch this. This other one is just traditional level 1, skill level 1. I'm going to equip it in its place, and all of a sudden, I lost 577 CP. So, make sure that you at least use the generic leveling system for the cards. very important. But also the final card that will benefit him, which I typically use on all my attackers, is this one, the Iori specific option card, because as you see, it is a cooldown card, but instead of the 1.9 you get a 1.2 second cooldown, but you also get an active skill damage increase by 4%. So this is also a terrific option card if you wanted to bring out, again, Ryu's maximum potential. Now let me take a breath, because this video was a little bit extensive, you guys, and the way I have Ryu now, check it out, he has about 7,500 less CP than with the original 2 cards that I had on him whenever I switched over from the Imprint Stones. But essentially, on this note, you guys, I think I will end the video abruptly, just because of the fact that I think that it has ran long enough. But for this video, this is essentially everything you need to know about Ryu to not only succeed with this character. He doesn't have to be 5 stars, because for championship, as long as they're awakened 1 star, you're golden. That's it. I'm just showing you how to play with him properly. That way you can get the maximum amount of enjoyment out of this character and be able to just rock newbie socks off with the information that you have obtained through this video. Now, the census is that Ryu is, in my personal opinion, not only one of my favorite characters, but very fast and able to obviously end the game quickly. And with a little bit of practice, he can be a straight up force of nature. I don't care what anybody says, but he is a solid choice, especially for blue. Now, again, I have hoped that everybody has thoroughly enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And, well, running out of things to say. So let me just put it down like this. This will conclude Volume 5 of How to Play, featuring Ryo. Please check out Volume 1 through 4, Volume 1 being Lady Big, Volume 2 being Gonets, Volume 3 being Nameless, Volume 4 being Maxima, and now Volume 5 being Ryo. All of my How to Play videos are similar in layout, where I talk about their best skills, their combos, their cores, their abilities, Imprint Stones, cards, what have you. I will leave the description to the other How to Plays below. So again, everybody in the whole entire world, this has been your guy, Senpai Rai, the hardest working, best goddamn content creator this side of the US of A. Ha. And I hope that you have thoroughly enjoyed my material. Check me out at patreon.com/YTSenpaiRai. And I'm out, you guys. Enjoy Ryo. Later.